Hi, welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So, today it's time for some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, as we continue with Farewell My Turnabouts. Maya has been kidnapped, and the kidnapper's requirement of us is to get a complete acquittal in one trial day. Well, we're still in that first day, and we're about to get our possible suspect onto the witness stand. So, let's get into it. Completely reasonable demand. These things take 3 days! Doesn't he know? Can we even do it in 1 day? When it's not a tutorial mission? March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. And yeah, hello Nick, how are you doing? Responding to you before I even said hi. Hi. Right. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian, no way, not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So, after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See? She could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Yeah, but if he was asleep wearing his costume, how did she get it to put it on? Does he sleep that deeply? Or maybe it was the costume of one of the brothers of the Nickel Samurai, because we know there are brothers. I don't know how similar their costumes are. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Hello, Drag. How are you doing? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. Is there maybe multiple costumes? Yeah, I imagine there would be, right? But yeah, why would they have them here? I don't know. She has her own agenda, which we promised not to talk about. We're probably gonna have to break that promise, eh? Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix? You think her motive is related to Celeste Impax's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Ms. Andrews depended on Ms. Impax as her strength and reason to live. But then Ms. Impax suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Ms. Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. All to get the suicide note back. The idea of getting the suicide note back seems difficult, because that just seems like something you would dispose of if you took it away from the scene, right? If it's incriminating, for sure. You'd like burn it. It probably wouldn't exist anymore, surely. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Ms. Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Ms. Impact's. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. March 22nd, 2:25 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. One Corridor's room. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Ongard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No. I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. Judge, you read gossip magazines? Judgy. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corridor. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. Except the defense. Well, no, we're not accusing her of it yet. We're not certain. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Ms. Andrews. Very well. Very well, then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, this exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Because that's the first thing you do. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that was when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honour. I mean, they could have been made earlier, and she decided to do that at that point to give a reason as to why her fingerprints were on the wine glass, and I assume the bottle of most definitely fruit juice. Definitely fruit juice and definitely nothing else. Wait, no, it was tomato juice, wasn't it? Definitely tomato juice and definitely nothing else. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack her when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offence is the instant this trial is over. Understand? Yeah? Right, it was time for the show to start, so she went to get Matt from his room. Yeah, that's right. And then... why? And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture. One was to make his appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time. Well, I'd love to assume an emphasis on that time. It is a talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. Right, yeah, what do we have again? Picture of the Nickel Samurai is not going to help. Press conference ticket. Radio transceiver, no. The camera, the magazine clipping, hotel guide map, the guitar case, the wine glass, the crime photo, bottom. The suicide reports are definitely not for now. The autopsy report, the knife, and this photo. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? How is this dead body? So... This is a weird thing to say. Naturally, it was the same scene as the crime scene photo. I mean, aside from the glass of tomato juice, I suppose. Felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Why? Juice. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. What you have done makes no sense, lady. It makes no sense. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence. It's something I just have to for Maya's sake. Look at that. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness? Do I need to just, like, present the photo to this one and go, it clearly wasn't exactly the same scene, because you wouldn't have seen the tomato juice, obviously. That doesn't seem right, though. You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? Ms. Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corridor. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. Ms. Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corridor, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind, it's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Ms. Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. So when you walked in, it didn't look at all like the scene of the crime photo. Ha, lady. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Oh yeah, the guitar case was wet, wasn't it? The guitar case was wet on the outside. She must have done more than one thing in their room. The guitar case must have been closed. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Liar. 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 You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Ms. Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. And, what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? Because if the guitar case was open as it was, well, as she claims it was when she walked in the room, then shouldn't there be glass shards on the inside of the guitar case too? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah! What is your point, right? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Yeah. Is that all? Well, I'd really like to know why she opened it. No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. And she said that when she walked in, the room was the same as the crime photo. Which, I mean, already the vase was obviously different, and the guitar case was obviously different. And the wine glass must have been different, so clearly it was actually nothing like the crime photo. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Clearly, the answer is almost always yes. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I'm hoping this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. All right, I'll follow along for now. Ms. Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Drag, you clearly know more about guitar cases than I do, because I know nothing about them. But yeah, you're right, they probably do have pockets and things, right? Probably. Also, why was this case here? Why was the case here if the guitar was back at the studio? Surely the victim would have noticed, right? That he was bringing an empty case. So does that mean that the case wasn't empty? Like, was there something in that case that was heavy enough to make him think there was a guitar in it? But then he would have found out that there wasn't a guitar in it when he got ready to go on stage. I don't know. Yeah, you used to play guitar. Yeah, I would never be able to do that personally. I have literally no musical ability. What do I do with this though? I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal, it was empty. Why was it empty? Oh, whoops, I clicked slightly in the wrong place there. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. Probably not. But maybe there was something. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Corridor's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic, was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. See you later, Nick. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. What do we even have that's relevant? I mean, there's the guitar case. But that's what we're talking about, right? But I suppose the only thing relevant to the guitar case is the guitar case. I mean, I guess here she's saying she supposes she must have opened it after she knocked the vase over. But we basically have evidence to prove that she definitely did, so maybe that's it? There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Oh, shoot, because it doesn't have her fingerprints on it. Because it doesn't have her fingerprints on it. I'd literally just read when I was selecting that evidence that it had the victim's fingerprints on it, but not hers. And her fingerprints were on the glass, so she clearly wasn't wearing gloves. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Ah! What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now that I remember, I'm almost certain I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. Well, that's strange, because how did she leave fingerprints on a glass? You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yeah, I do. I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Ooh! Her glasses exploded. And then they came back. Order! 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 Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. Yet, Phoenix, you can put a lot of things that are not guitar-shaped into a guitar case. If you want to pretend that those things are guitar-shaped. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Ms. Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing... You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was... So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? Okay, what was inside the case at the time of the murder? Let's go through our things. It's not our attorney's badge, because that was on us. It's not the Mayor's Megatana, because that was on us. Photo of the Nickel Samurai. Press conference ticket. Well, that wouldn't have been in the guitar case, because that's ours. The radio transceiver would not have been in the guitar case. Lotta's camera wouldn't have been because that was with Lotta at the time? Or had already been stolen by Oldbag, one of those things. The magazine clipping article, unlikely. Hotel guide map, that's ours. The guitar case was not inside of the guitar case, clearly, because that would not work. The wine glass was also clearly not inside the guitar case. I don't think anything that is in this photo is what was inside of the guitar case. A bloody button was probably not in there, nor the suicide reports or the autopsy report. The knife, very unlikely because that knife came from the other room. And we have Lotta's photo. What is photo that is showing someone who clearly isn't actually the Nickel Samurai leaving the room? Yes, because this is Karida's side of the corridor, because it's got the bear. Is that where what is clearly the extra copy of the Nickel Samurai's costume came from? Is that what was in there? You could definitely fit a costume into a bag the size of a guitar case, I guess. Because we know this isn't On Guard, because this person isn't tall enough, and we know that On Guard was sleeping in his costume. So we know there must have been another costume. So I guess that? This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture, it doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Roger, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would have been to wear the costume, of course. Ms. Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't have let anyone see you leave, could you, Ms. Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Ungard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? I mean, that's a good question. And inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? Hello, Shema. I'm doing fine. How are you? Ungard has told us he was taking a nap in his costume, right? So it has to be a spare one. Mr. Ungard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Coroner, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And what happened to the spare costume afterwards is a big question. And therein lies the sticking point. Objection! What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Maybe. The press announcement? Yeah, right? Because On Guard didn't know anything about that press conference, right? During which the Nickel Samurai was supposed to be, it wasn't announced something, was it? It was, confessed to something. No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was to, besmirch his name. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. One Corridor himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corridor was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai, hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that one Karada, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Miss Andrews, I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? And I'd bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. And that's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, It looked like somehow one had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what this secret of Mr. Onguard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only one knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. Onguard? And yet again, another bit of truth. Another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Protecting Matt. Hello, Carl. How you doing? From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill her no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. How did you know about the button? This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. He had to kill him. He didn't have an alibi. Confirmed by the button and the knife. I want to know, how did you know about the button at the point at which you found the body? Are judges allowed to read gossip magazines? You'd think not, right? Although, I suppose it is probably usually quite harmless up until the point where, oops. Huh, the scroll wheel moves the text box. Up until the point where someone you've read gossipy rumours about ends up in your courtroom. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamming Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the cleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that it makes it very decisive evidence. Yeah, but how did you know about that when you walked in and found the dead body? Yep. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't graciously accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was torn off during his fight with Matt. He ripped the costume, it was covered in his blood. But didn't... Yeah. He wasn't bleeding until after he would have been fighting. The bleeding definitely came later than the fighting, so if the fighting made it fall off, then why is it covered in blood? This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. I'm surprised it produced enough blood to cover that button if he was already dead, but... and what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it. Which would mean it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ah. That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Order! Order! What is the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? Framing. What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposefully rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? Pin the crime on Ungard. Clearly. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Ungard. There is no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. Ungard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. Ungard is... well, the only person it can really be in this case is the person right in front of us. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Corridor's killer. What? Order! 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 Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Ms. Andrews. But that's preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me! I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Yes, because anyone else wouldn't have necessarily known which one was Matt's knife and which one was Adrian's knife. But then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body, or the killer. Or both. However, if Mr. Ongard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such an incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. She is going through a lot of pairs of glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Ongard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Ms. Adrian Andrews. No, But Ms. Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So, to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. Ongard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. Do you now? Do you really? What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Onguard's room... Adrian Andrews! Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Ms. Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there is still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Ms. Andrews did, in fact, harbour a wish to murder Mr. Coroner. Ms. Andrews, did you want to murder Mr. Coroner? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But, Ms. Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. Has nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. And the defence's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. A recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial... Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. Ms. Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually, when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Edgeworth, were you really trying to get a shaken, not stirred into the conversation here? So, my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honour, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Ms. Andrews, if you please. That glass of juice. I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in a messy state. Antoine, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour him some juice. When I realised that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Yeah, it's a good question as to what actually does Edgeworth know? How much did the detective tell him? Yeah. That's the thing. I have a question that I need to work out the answer to because I don't quite understand. Why did she pour a glass of juice for someone she looked... Sorry, why did she pour a glass of tomato juice for someone that she thought had fainted? Is tomato juice sweeter than I think it should be? Because I understand the idea of pouring a glass of juice for someone who's fainted, because the sugar is the important part here, right? I've never had tomato juice, but I would have assumed that it was... I would have assumed it wasn't sweet. Is tomato juice? Yeah, unless it's not juice but wine, but also why are we pouring wine for someone who fainted? Yeah, tomato juice isn't sweet. I don't know. I should just ignore that fact. When I realised he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. So you made up things about it? Come on, lady. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. She didn't pour it for herself. She was surprised when she saw the room was messy. He was sitting slumped over and tired looking. When you saw him sitting like that, the thought he was dead didn't cross your mind. But if he already had a knife in him, then why wouldn't you think he was dead? Right? Because she initially said that everything that was here before, except we know that the vase wasn't knocked over, and the guitar case wasn't open, and the glass wasn't there, but everything about this hasn't been refuted that it was different. So, like, if you see him slumped over like this with a knife in him, then maybe you might think he was dead. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Ah. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corridor's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. Well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Even if you thought that person had fainted, pouring them a drink isn't the first thing you'd do, right? Surely. Not that I know particularly well, yeah, I think you'd shake them to try and wake them up, right? I have fainted twice in my life. Admittedly, both of those times have been near medical people. Once in a doctor's waiting room and once in a hospital. Which is probably the best place to faint. Your point is... Ms. Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt Ongard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible! You're wrong! Ms. Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me! It wasn't me, I tell you! It was Matt, I swear it! He's the one who killed Juan! But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's... Ms. Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Ongard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Ongard.
Objection!
Your Honor, the prosecution feels it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Ongard will go free. And in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Ms. Von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Engard will be acquitted. Ms. Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. Then, what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across something like this. But Ms. Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you, please believe me. I didn't kill Hun. Help! Please, someone help me! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. I mean, do we think that she's actually a killer? I'm not 100% certain on that. She definitely falsified evidence to lead us to the incrimination of Matt Engard, right? But did she do the murder herself? She says she didn't. And I don't know. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this case. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I'm the kind of person who wants the truth. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Ms. Andrews. I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. Engard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet! How dare you! You're trying to trick me! That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Oh, he's gonna tell the courts about the things that we promised not to talk about. Stop! Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop! Please stop! No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Yeah, that's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Nothing other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop! I beg you, if people find out... If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please help me. Nothing matters anymore. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted. Honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed one's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Stabbed the body with the knife? Why would you do that? Yeah, why would you frame your client, miss? Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Oh, you think he's responsible for your mentor's suicide? Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corridor, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. You really thought he had fainted. Alright. That's when you formulated your plan. So, stabbed his dead body with the knife, ripped off the button. Yeah, what's the inconvenience here? An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why you ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes. I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. Yeah, does Matt have a secret? Or is this just, what's the word? Slander? I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth. I'm sorry, Phoenix. No, please don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise. Still, I'm sorry. What made you think that? But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is part of the Gemma Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. And that's why I thought I'd wake him up. and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan, to silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So, you were the one to stab the victim with that knife? Yep. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time I couldn't control my own body, it moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, it could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Unguard's Hakama? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? I think we've heard enough. So, after that, you went back to Mr. Unguard's room and planted the button. Into Matt's Hakama, yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word, what does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ungard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Franziska, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor! The defense still... Right. It's pointless. Right? She's just told us he was definitely taking a nap, so how could it have been him? At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Ms. Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh, that's a big echo. He's gone. Empty chair. Today's trial, it's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered just now. I found this in the room on that day. Wait, is it the calling card of the real murderer? I mean, Maya found one very similar where she was locked up that she used to unlock the door. Maybe Maya will be okay. Maybe Maya has gotten out. We don't know for sure. That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Anne's murder, right? You found it at the scene of the crime. It's probably relevant, lady. Sorry, Drag. Do I need to explain calling card? Basically, something that a killer leaves at the scene of the crime to go, hey, this was me, I did it. I suppose not just murders, but also like thefts and things, right? When you've got a very, very cocky criminal who just wants to go, ha 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 ha, it was me. And you couldn't stop me. Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why... Witness that card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This! I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. Edgeworth, what do you know? That card. What in the world is it, and what does it mean? Apparently, we are not going to find out right now. Saving. Oh. March 22nd, 5:24 p.m. Writing co-law officers. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Oh, look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Claire isn't much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right, so... Hey, you guys! Glad I caught you, pal. Mr. Scrappy Detective! Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now, and I came to talk to you, pal. Oh no! Oh no, did Francisca actually fire you this time? Poor Gumshoe. But we're kind of busy right now. So, what are you going to do from now on? Yeah, sounds like she managed to fire him while recuperating in hospital from being shot. What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So, do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that! What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. Wait, he doesn't even get severance pay? He doesn't even get paid for the work he did up until he was fired? Well, I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? You'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. On Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching over people's places. And I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. I mean, surely the police have to pay him his last however many days, right? Surely that is legally required. He could probably take them to court if they didn't, right? Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. That's very simple cooking, Gumshoe. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. But because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. The truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony. I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself. But I still think there is something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No, I mean almost need to frame Mr. Ongard? I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then, you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie per se. It just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. That's such a dirty trick! Even that woman prosecutor is better than that! Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. But she's gonna be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder. So she's okay and still hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What, are you gonna go visit her, pal? No. Well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey! You've actually got art! You've actually got art! Let's try that one again. Hey! You've actually got art! It's really hard to say a heart when you're trying to drop the H's. Hey, you've really got an art, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death, not being able to go to the trial today. So maybe it'd be good for her if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal. Is she allowed to have that in the hospital? Oh, let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick. Now I'm definitely not going. Let's see. The name of the hospital. Oh yeah. The Otti Clinic. Oh, that place again, huh? That name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. No, it really might hurt, Phoenix. If they're allowing her whip in there. Okay, where have we got? Well, let's work top to bottom. Detention Centre. March 22nd. Detention Centre Visitors Room. From what the guard told me, it sounds like along with Mr. Ongard, Miss Andrews is also being detained here. Then we should talk with them since we're here. Yeah, but both of them are still in questioning. And we don't have time to waste. Yeah, visiting hours are almost over. Alright. Criminal Affairs. March 22nd. Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Wow! Everybody looks really busy with something or other. They're probably strengthening the evidence for tomorrow's trial. Hey, hurry up with that, will ya? Pass that victims list around. You've got to be kidding, there's over 100 people on here. Mr. Nick? Is Mr. Ungod really that big and bad of a criminal? Actually, Pearls, never mind it. Sounds like they're working on a different case. And that there's no one to talk to. To the hotel! March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel, hotel lobby. All right now, Mr. Nick. Let's look for clues. We have to for Mystic Maya's sake. Is this going to be Old Bag? You shall not pass! Ms. Old Bag. Don't devalue my name and turn it into a gasp, you spiky-headed pettifrogger. Because of you, I've been made to look like the bad guy again. Although I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy just as he promised. But what was really something more valuable, I wanted Edgy Poo's heart, but just for me. It's all your fault, people making a wild beast inside of the Old Bag. Ah! You got gum from Mr. Edgeworth? This Old Bag. Keep your hands off of me! This helmet is airtight. No air gets in and no air gets out. Then why do you keep putting it on? Do you want to suffocate? Don't think you can get me to move with silly questions. You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by. I'm not hearing this. If no air gets out, how did we hear you? Good question. I mean, I guess it could still be transmitting the vibrations from the air inside the helmet to the air outside the helmet. You're a million light years too early to be asking me questions, whippersnapper. Looks like the only way I'm going to get any investigating done is to first do something about this kooky alien. So it's going to be the same regardless of... Yeah, it's going to be the same regardless of what I ask her. Okay. What have we got to shove in her face? I don't know if we do have anything to shove in her face. Right, let's go to the Hottie Clinic. March 22nd, Hottie Clinic reception. Never thought I'd ever come back to this place. Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? Ah, hi. Wait a second, you're... yes, I'm Director Hottie. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yes. Who's this gonna be then? A nurse? Director Hottie. Nope, it was Edgeworth. Director Hottie. Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Hottie. Oh, you're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it? Director, Franziska. How is Franziska von Karma? You You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because, you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes. I don't think that counts as being in good hands, dude. I would much rather like to know who the real doctor dealing with her is. Can we trust this man? No. Well, we can trust him to be creepy and talk about pretty ladies. That's probably about it. Yes, and that thing, that surgery, it went well. You have my gratitude. Looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret. She looked so pitiful, absolutely terrified. Yes. But I understand. Yes, her opponent was a gun after all. And when I snuck up on her real secret, like, she would scream really loud. Yes. I see. Ah, but she's really cute too. When I'd do that, she'd whip me with her whip. Boy, did I cry like a baby. Yes, but I think I could get used to it. Wow. Oh, she's up and about. Go back to your room. You're so mean, huh? So mean, my frisky Frisker. But that's good to... Okay. Yes, it's time for my IV drops. Yes. What are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I'm visiting someone in hospital and I brought flowers, because that's what you do. I knew I shouldn't have come here. I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. You clearly have more than one version of this outfit, given that it doesn't have blood on it. Or someone has done a very good cleaning job on it during today. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. How many times have you been shot in front of a courthouse, Francisca? I even had full intentions of running the trial this morning. But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding, one has to worry. He was so unyielding, one has to wonder if he was simply interested in stealing my case. It was the only logical course of action, given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma. You made a deal with Ms. Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdicts on Mr. On-Guard, you told Ms. Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal? I've got her testimony. You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I had been in court today, this trial would already be over. Well, while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime? That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I have only one objective, to find Enguarde guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The end justifies the means. Ms. Von Karma. Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then Enguarde will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. Or because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. Wow, Miss Francisca Von Karma. But you had to know she was... Oh. I think visiting hours here are about over. So, if you'll excuse me. What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Ms. Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far... Ah, but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright. The courtroom... Whoops. Ah, no. I accidentally sent that onwards. Great. Back in again. I am putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you. Witness that card! Give it to me! Hurry! Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. That card. What in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, Wright. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. A special investigation team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelley DeKiller. So that suggests that DeKiller was indeed DeKiller. And just as his name suggests, and just as his name states, he is a killer, an assassin, the best at that. An assassin? Picture card added to the court record. Was placed next to the victim at the time of the murder. Ms. Andrews was carrying it. Wait, so like, does the killer want us to get Enguarde found not guilty because he doesn't want someone else taking taking credit for his own murder. Is that what the problem is? So, who is this Shelley the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelley is the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name. So, because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves cards with a shell on them. Oh, of course. Of course. He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? We think it is part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. I see. The Killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. Yeah, clearly someone wanted Corridor dead, and wanted Corridor dead enough to hire a very, very good assassin. It seems this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So, you think this assassin... You think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelley the Killer, huh? Yeah, Edgeworth? Did Gumshoe tell you? I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. Specifically, he wanted an acquittal today, but that ship has sailed. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Really? Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth is going to... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't have even a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Right. Listen. You need to know something. Glenn Corridor was killed by Shelley the Killer. And the client who ordered the job is Matt Ongard, your own client. How do you know that? Please, stop! I can't listen to you! I can't believe that! I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you'll need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley the Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter. Letter of introduction from Edgeworth. Yeah, I get the feeling that will let us past Oldbag. Allows bearer to freely investigate the crime scene. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again if anything should happen. Now if you'll excuse me. Mr. Nick? Do you think Mr. Ungard hired an assassin? No way! I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, he doesn't seem smart enough to do that. Maya, please, all I ask is you make it home safe and sound. Date? Question marks. Time? Also question marks. Location? Yep, also question marks. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up, like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. So that means we can move into the next area. Date? Who knows? Time? Who knows? Location? Not a clue. Why is there a satellite dish inside? How is that helpful? Oh, what is this place? I've got a feeling I'm not in the hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. But now, I should be looking for clues. That way, I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. Well, there's a cat or dog door in that door. Locked, of course. And it doesn't look like I can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through there. I'm guessing we can't reach through the cat flap to unlock the door from the other side or something. It's so dark in here I can barely see, but these kind of feel like videotapes. All of them. Just what kind of room is this? That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear. Aw, how cute. But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. Well, apparently we're not going to try and unlock it or anything. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. That looks like the dead woman, right? Yeah, Celeste Impex. It does look like her. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, it looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." You think the teddy bear is made from mementos of each victim? I think it's a little too uniform in colour to be that. It could contain mementos. No, I think his mementos are these videotapes. Like, maybe he records every murder he does. I bet this could be a clue. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. It's approximately either here or there, Maya. Crap, there goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. What is this thing? An antenna, I guess. And this is a VCR? There sure are a lot of electronic gadgets here. What is an antenna doing here? Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. It seems that your Mr. Wright is truly concerned about you. He is? For now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways? You mean... Dead men tell no tales, is how the saying goes, correct? Dead? I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting. I am an assassin. No way, you're lying! I mean, an assassin? People are not always who they appear to be. March 22nd, 7:04 p.m. Hottie Clinic reception. Mr. Nick? Oh, yes, Pearls? Got caught up in my thoughts about Maya's situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know. I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay. Before we move to that next area, I'm gonna go get some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. So yeah, let's go back to the detention centre, as Wright suggested. March 22nd, detention centre visitors room. I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over for today. Aww. I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... You're Mr. Wright, you say? Oh, yeah, there's a message here for you. A message? It's from Matt Ongard. Ah, here you are. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So, actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shoe. I didn't put out a lot of food when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house and feed Shoe for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? Feed the cat. Let's hurry! We have to feed his cat! I'm sure poor Shoe's stomach is growling by now. Yeah, I guess. Matt's note jammed into a pocket. Please feed my cat, Shoe. My house is just a little ways down from the hotel. I mean, I don't think he was actively staying in the hotel. I think they were using the hotel room as a dressing room for the show, rather than actually sleeping in it. Client's request is a request. Guess I should go check up on his cat. What if it's his house that Maya's stuck in? That did have a cat door. Let's go through to criminal affairs and just check if there's anything else there. No. To the hotel lobby? But then turn around and go to Mr. Ongard's house. March 22nd, Ongard Mansion, living room. Sure is dark. I'll go turn on a light. Well, I don't think it's the same house. I have concerns. I would not be able to sit on that sofa. Because this motorbike suspended from the ceiling is terrifying. I mean, it's probably well done and probably won't fall, but I would not trust that. I would not trust that at all. Wow. So this is what a stard's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. Come on, Mr. Nick, let's find Shoe the kitty cat. Shoe! Aww! Look at him. So, I guess this is Shoe. Hello, Shoe. The door on the right is suspicious. I mean... yeah, I guess you could think of that as the... it could be the opposite side of the tour that Maya saw. I suppose. But I'm just kind of thinking there's a sofa. Well, I guess there's a sofa here, but no TV. There was a TV in that other room, wasn't there? Hmm. The cat seems to like pearls. Excuse me. Oh. Apologies for that. Is this going to be the killer? So is this going to be pardon me? It is! Okay, yeah, so Maya's literally through 2 doors in that direction. Well, that's awfully suspicious. May I help you with something, Mr... Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. Onguard's lawyer. The Master's... Then you must be Mr. Wright. Yes. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I don't think Mr. Onguard has a butler. Because I think if Mr. Onguard had a butler, he wouldn't ask us to feed his cat. Exactly, Drag. We wouldn't have been asked to feed the cat if there was someone here who would do it. Has he co-opted this place to do his stuff in because he knows that the person that owns it is not currently here and not coming back for a while? Ah, it's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I am the family butler, John Doe. Really? Your name is John Doe. There's no way that's someone's real name. Also, shouldn't we recognize him from when he came to get Maya for the phone call? I mean, he's fairly distinctive with the straight line of stitches down the middle of his face. Nice to meet you. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. Onguard, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, if it, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say maybe about 1 year? Or maybe about 1 day. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. You know, I would have thought Mr. Onguard the type to have a maid over a butler. That's a very cute cat you've got here. It is my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies Shoe. Yeah. I don't think this is a real butler. I mean, we know it isn't the real butler. Um, and anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Really? Yes, give the butler a butler task. Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. No! No! Don't do it! No! Mr. Wright, why would you do that? Matt's note crumpled into a ball and thrown away. Mr. Wright, you should have kept that as evidence. It's evidence that the butler isn't the real butler. Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now. Oh, we should probably get going ourselves. Ah, so young and yet already so accomplished. A master of law. But there is also a lot to be proud of in being a butler in charge of the house and all. Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be. Now, if you'll excuse me. I can't believe you didn't mistrust him, Miss Phoenix Wright, really. A giant bicycle is flying through the air! That bicycle, Pearls, is one where you don't have to pedal and it moves on its own. Really? Wow. But sorry to disappoint you, it can't fly. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, there's a giant cooking hearth here. That's actually a fireplace. How are they different, Mr. Nick? This one probably isn't cooked in, Pearl. You know, I've never actually seen a hearth before, come to think of it. You should come and visit Fay Manor then. I'll show you one when you do. There are masks here. Yeah, it looks like the Steel Samurai and the Pink Princess and someone else, possibly. Yeah, that one in the middle is the Steel Samurai. The ones next to that are the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. Oh, it's the Evil Magistrate. I'm not sure we'd actually seen his mask, or, well, it's been too long, I suppose. They fought many battles against the backdrop of neo-old Tokyo. Wow, you really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick. I don't know whether to laugh or cry that I know more about that show than a kid. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. In any case, I don't really belong here, do I? What is with me and feeling inferior today? There's another door over there. You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick. Yes, Pearls. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. You wonder how many get scared about the floating motorcycle? Yeah, I wonder that too. I wonder how many of them hit their head on the floating motorcycle when they get up from the sofa. Because I know I would. Actually, I wouldn't be on that sofa in the first place because that's terrifying, but... There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. I bet it's for Mr. Onguard's cat to use. Oh, you mean Shoe? Door. It's locked tight. Well, I guess that's to keep nosy people like me from entering it. Man, if only Maya had met Shoe and given Shoe a note. It doesn't look like there's anything else to look at in here. So I guess we gotta leave. And then tell Old Beg that we are in fact allowed to be here. Maybe if I show her this letter I got from Edgeworth? Ms. Oldbag, if you would look at... What? You want me to look at this worthless piece of... edgy poo? Is that her perfume? Pheromone d'Amour, I smell? See here. Would you please allow this unsophisticated young person to conduct his investigation? Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth. Yours truly? That man's good at flattery. Fine, but only because Edgy-Poo said so, you understand? Letter of introduction given to Ms. Oldbag. I just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. You do anything bad and I won't let you off the hook. It looks like she has strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth. There may be, but you know nothing's going to come of it. That's Mr. Nick. Feelings are meant to be told and shared. Oh. Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. How is your face in range of Pearls to slap you, Nick? She's a lot shorter than you are. So anyway, let's continue our investigation. Okay. Yeah, what now? One little thing before I forget. You can't go into Onguard's room today. Why? The police's main investigation team is going to be in there all day, you hear? I wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer. So don't go in there! Set one foot in there and you'll face the wrath of Wendy Oldbag. Apparently we're not going to get to ask her questions either. In that case, actually, let's do some examination. It's the stage they were going to use for the post-ceremony stage show. After the show, there was supposed to be a press conference, but that press conference, it was really the victim, one Carada, trying to disclose something about Mr. Onguard. But they're both heroes. Why would they do something so unheroic? They may look like heroes on the outside, but on the inside they're only human. I don't think we're going to find anything of use here that we haven't already seen. March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel, Viola Hall. Looks like we're the only ones in here. And yet, the hotel seems so busy somehow. Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer. Why is all this food still here? I want to eat a meal with Mystic Maya again. Yeah, me too. Whenever I watch Mystic Maya eat like she does, it makes me happy about eating, and then I can eat a lot. Well then, how about after we wrap up this case, we all go out for a huge 20-course feast? Okay, let's work really hard then. What can we look at? Like, can we go into Corridor's room? March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel hallway. I would hope that a 20-course meal would have a lot of really, really tiny courses. Surely. Like some kind of a tasting menu type of deal. But hey, maybe it is just a ridiculous amount of food. Hey, city boy! Lotta, you're still here. Wrecking course! An investigative photographer eats our stars on her ability to snap up the scoop, yeah? And this hotel just has that aura of mystery. You know, like something's always about to happen. But do you have a camera? Rick given! A photographer's gotta have cameras out the ear like corn to be a real pro, you know? So I'm hanging out here. Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, do you have mine, you bread thief? Why can't you drop that thief thing already? Well, I guess we do have Lotta's camera. Nope. Apparently we can't just, we apparently can't just give her camera. Alright. I want to ask you about the night of the murder. What? You're really gonna shell out the bucks for the info I got? Lotta, you were loitering in this hallway the night of the murder, were you not? Well, kinda, but... Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I didn't exactly hang around here the entire time, you know? Followed a few stars around, got a few autographs, shook a few hands, had a soda pop with a few of them too. Looks like she wasn't here the entire time that night. The security lady also wasn't in this hallway the whole time either. I guess this means there's no one who can tell us who came and went that night. So, about the note that was inside your camera case. Oh, that ditty I wrote? Yeah, can I believe what you've written? You mean the stuff about On Guard shoving his manager lady on a card? Yeah. Yeah, well, I reckon you best not be believing that. What? Look, I sort of wrote that on a whim, you know? Writing whatever came to mind. Whatever came to mind? Yeah, when you get down to it, it's just a lot of random bulldooders. Ah, it's a whole load of bullshit, is it? Hey, what's with you? Why are you staring at me like my grandpa used to? Hey, and why you gotta look like you suddenly got older too? Or am I just shrinking here? My baby! My $1,600 baby! What's with that red-coated prosecutor anyhow? The guy told me it was evidence and refused to give it back to me. Well, that's kind of how it is. Hey, you're that Redcoat's friend, ain't you? So put in a few good words for me and get me back my camera. You want me to do what? Listen, nag the guy real good for about 5 hours and I guarantee he'll give it back. Why don't you do your own dirty work? Well, I reckon it's time for me to get going. Tabloid photographer without a tabloid... No, a tabloid photographer without a camera is just a tabloid, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Keep yourself together out there, you hear? I'm coming to see you in court tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. And you too there, little one. Keep up the good work, okay? Okay. Don't be picky about your food now. Okay. And make sure that you do all your homework, you hear? Okay. And if you happen to find yourself a camera, make sure you bring it right to me. Would you please just leave already? Does Pearl have homework? Good question. Does Pearl know what homework is? I mean, they probably have a school up there, right? They probably have a school up there in the village. Compared to the flowers on the other side of the hall, these are much more gorgeous. Let's see, record company, this is the same line as before, okay. So yeah, we can go into Corridor's hotel room. March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel, Corridor's hotel room. Who's making weird noises in this room? What is that otherworldly, ghastly moaning? I don't think it's a ghost. Maybe it's a demon. Excuse me, watch who you're calling a demon, brat! Swinks, it's the alien! Who are you calling an alien? Oh, it's just you, Miss Oldbag. What are you doing here? What is wrong with you, with young'uns today? I came down here to pay my respects to my poor man, and you're disturbing me. Well, now we can talk to her about the things. Please talk to me about the night of the murder just one more time. Talked about it plenty at the trial. I was fooled, tricked, deceived by that fraud of a photographer and her note. She was loitering around here with that imbecilic look on her face. With that imbecilic look on her face? Okay, got it. Now hold on a second there, you little pipsqueak. You're going to take notes, at least make me sound better than that. Oh, alright. Now I've seen everything. But you know, I was working that night too, doing my job of minding my own business. So it's not like I had time to waste standing around here the whole night. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about Mr. Corridor? He was the most popular star, you know, especially where it counts, in my book. But I heard he was lagging behind in the polls against Mr. On Guard. Well, it's just a recent thing. Bad luck and all that, you know. But he was going to become an even bigger star than he used to be. Look, just look at this mountain of presents. It's a show of the mountain of feelings his fans had for him. Yeah, the mountain is pretty big, and certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Mr. Nick? What is it, Pearls? The presents, they're all bears, right? She's got a point. There isn't a single thing here that isn't a bear. All of Mr. Corridor's presents from his fans seem to be bears? Oh, that's because you can't think of one without thinking of bears. Bears? Why bears? Oh, you don't know. When my dearest friend was training, he fought bare-handed with a bear. Right? He refused to give in and let the bear win, but after the fight they became friends. Wow, what a heartwarming story. Look, it's just like that in those young people's dramas. I can see those two tuckered out, down by a river going, You sure can fight. You too, Bub, you too. Did all that really happen? It's in his biography, Bub. What a load of crock. So ever since then, fans have been giving him bears as presents. Yeah, nice. Bears. I'm Uncle Bear, and I say it's barely 8 o'clock. What is that infernal racket? It's one of the presents going off. Sounds like it's already 8 p.m. Way past your bedtime. That startled me. I thought I was going to die for a second. 8 p.m. That's the time when the award ceremony ended that night, remember? Time sure flies. Hard to believe it's been 2 days since the ceremony. Transceiver. Hello? Hello? This is not a phone. Maya, how is Maya? You haven't hurt her, have you? It seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney. I have to assume that the killer is masking his voice somehow, otherwise we would know who he was. Because we'd have remembered his voice from talking to him just now. I have heard the news. So it would seem my present did you no good. No, Missing Maya, Missing Maya. One more day, please. All I ask is for one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time, please. I suppose if I must. I need that acquittal more than anything else, after all. Please, please let Maya say something. I want to hear she's all right. All right, then a little... What is with this static all of a sudden? Hello? Hello? It seems bad. Connect. Did the transceiver just suddenly break? Excuse me. What happened? Oh no, all of a sudden it became nothing but static. Missing Maya. Is Old Bag still in this room? Why did the transceiver suddenly break like that? I should probably have an electronics expert look at it. The sooner the better. Yeah, she's still here. She heard all of that. Do you know anything about electronics? Anything to say to delinquents like you? Yeah, okay. It's a beautiful wine glass, and there's tomato juice in it. Ew, tomato juice. I don't really like it much. There's a bottle of it on the table over there. That's probably where this came from. So, the Nickel Samurai's costume was in here. Yeah. I can't believe Mr. Corridor went so far just to say bad things about Mr. Ongard. Well, it was a press conference, so he had to go in costume. But weren't Mr. Ongard and Mr. Corridor friends? They weren't friends. They couldn't be friends because they were rivals. So, a rival is someone who is a strong enemy. Miles is really fired up over this. And I don't have an answer for her. Also, rivals can be friends, Phoenix. Bottles of cosmetics are scattered all over the floor. This is probably where Mr. Corridor fought his assailant. Those glass shards. They're probably from the glass vase Ms. Andrews knocked over. Looks like Mr. Corridor had dinner that night. This bottle, it's tomato juice. We had a lot of food at the award show that night, but I wonder if the stars have gone on stage after only eating a meager meal like this. Wow, there were a lot of bears. Round clock ones, collector's editions, stuffed teddies, plastic models. It's pretty overwhelming. Is there a kind of bear he doesn't have? There's even a few in the trash can. Yeah, I get the feeling the guy didn't really like bears. Poor teddies. It's hard to bear with all these problems. I don't think I want to bear with the trauma the last case caused me. What's wrong, Mr. Nick? Clown trauma, apparently. It's so messy here. Pearls really likes things neat and tidy, I take it. There are a lot of electronic things in here that I've never seen before. Hey, Mr. Nick, tell me what they are, pretty please. Okay, that over there is a watch. You wear it on your wrist. I know what a watch is. Oops, for a second there, I forgot I was talking with Pearls, not Maya. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get anything interesting out of here. Okay, who do we know who's good with electronics? Who do we know who's good with electronics? I'm not certain Lotta's good with electronics. there's something here. March 22nd, Writing Co. Law Officers. Is Gumshoe good with electronics? She did have a whole camera set up, but does that mean she can repair things? Hey, welcome back, pal. I thought I'd make you a little something for dinner. That's nice, thanks. A rich man's luxurious full-course meal. Out of the can, that is. I'm sorry you went through all the trouble to cook, but I don't have the time to eat. Oops. Looks like you don't have a can opener, pal. You've got to be kidding. And here I thought he had already whipped something up. No, he just has a can. Gumshoe, you've got a long way to go before you're house husband material. Oh, I know. There is one way I know to be helpful. Ask me about anything you want, pal. Go ahead. Well, since he's here and offering, I wonder what I should try asking him about. Hey, can you fix electronics, Gumshoe? The transceiver? Oh, Mr. Nick! You should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing. What thing? Oh, yeah, this thing just up and broke all of a sudden. It broke, pal. When I was talking to the kidnapper, it just suddenly broke into static. Look, it sounded like this. I don't hear any static, pal. Huh? There's something interfering with it in Corridor's room. There's probably something inside one of those bears that's transmitting on the same frequency. Maybe it fixed itself. That's strange. I'm sure it was making a loud static noise. Maybe. Maybe what? Maybe it was electromagnetic interference, pal. Electromagnetic interference? Can you tell me about that? Yes, you can. So what is electromagnetic interference? It's something that happens when a radio wave gets mixed up with another signal, pal. Oh, when you put it that way... I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, for example, when a cell phone goes off next to a computer screen. Stuff on the screen gets kind of fuzzy and starts acting funny, right? I don't know necessarily about that, but I do remember... I do remember that back in the day... if you received a text while you were near a TV, the TV would make a weird noise just before your phone pinged for the text. It was interesting. You'd have like it would be like half a second ahead or whatever. And it was only the sound, I think. The sound would go a little fuzzy. And then the phone would go, ping, you've got a message. Or would like start ringing. I don't think it does that anymore. And like there's equipment that works with electromagnetic waves, but if someone like gets a phone call or a text while they're operating it, it messes up the data. you'd get like this really strong banding in the data that would be like, ah yes, well that's someone nearby getting a phone call. Huh? Computer. It's like when you use the dryer next to the TV and the screen starts looking weird. Oh, yes! The TV does do that! Oh, so that's what you're talking about. She seems amazingly happy at being able to understand this. So, the room you were in when the interference to the transceiver happened. There's got to be something there that's sending out very strong radio waves, pal. Something like a listening device or something. Yeah, the dryer shouldn't be emitting electromagnetic waves, that's true. Maybe it's more electrical interference. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like I've ever had a tumble dryer to know that. Hey, speaking of that, where were you when it happened? We were in Mr. Corridor's room, the scene of the murder. Ooh, if there's a spy device in the scene of the murder, then maybe we'll get new evidence. What? That's it. I'm gonna sneak into the precinct and get a bug sweeper. I'll meet you at the crime scene later, alright, pal? Isn't that equipment kept in the evidence lockup? How are you planning on getting in there, Gumshoe? Well, good luck to you. Wait, Gumshoe! Oh yeah, baby! It's investigating time! I'm on fire, pal! My fingers are itching to go! Yeah! We should be going too, Mr. Nick! Alright, let's go. Back to the hotel! Yeah, but does he still have an ID card that'll let him in there, Drag? That's the question. March 22nd, Gatewater Hotel, Corridor's hotel room. Hey, you're finally here, pal! How did you get here faster? Sorry to keep you waiting. Do you have the, bug sweeper? Oh, well, you see, I got busted trying to sneak in, pal. Then suddenly I'm staring at the precinct doors. From the outside, I mean. So yeah, couldn't get one of the police bug sweepers. What do you mean you couldn't get one? We need that item. Hey, calm down, pal. I didn't say I didn't get one, just not the police's. Wow, so this is the bug sweeper. It looks a little broken. Hey, this was made when I was in elementary school, pal. Oh, by who? Me, of course. Yeah, seeing this sure brings back memories. Hey, don't look down on it, pal. Sure, it looks a little beat up. But I put my heart and soul into building this puppy here. Your heart and soul? It'll work. Trust me, pal, it'll do the job. But you can't set the sensitivity. So it's going to beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic... It's going to beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic waves. But isn't it better that way? Well, anyway, since I brought it all the way here, might as well give it a whirl, right, pal? I'm getting that sinking feeling again. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this baby. There's a listening device or some other sort of bug hidden in this room, pal. So, we're going to find it, right? Right. Now first, let's turn the sweeper on. Next, move the sweeper around to give the room a real thorough looky-see, pal. The sweeper will let you know how strong of a signal it's picking up, so keep an eye on it, okay? Once you find something that's giving off a lot of radio waves, press enter to log on to it. There's a lot of things here that's going to give off radio waves. So let's take a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Alright, I'm going to go stand outside and keep an eye out. Give me a yell if you find the bug. Got it, pal? Okay. Ooh, over here. Lamp, check. Listening device, nope. There are a lot of lamps in this room, aren't there, Mr. Nick? Yeah. And they're all on. You shouldn't do that, Mr. Nick. Don't you know that's wasteful? Yeah. I'll be more conscientious from now on. Sorry. What's the AC? Well, the listening device isn't in the air conditioner. Yuck! The air filter is covered in dust and dirt. Yeah. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's wash it. That's not our job, pal. I wonder if being a neat freak makes even the tiniest dust bunny look colossal. What? Oh, nothing? TV? I don't really think the listening device is in the TV of all places. Looks like the TV was left on, and it's now showing an old samurai movie. Yeah, this channel plays all sorts of international movies as well as domestic ones. You know, every time I watch one of these old movies, I always think, wow, these Japanese stars are really good at English. Yeah. When I grow up, I want to study Japanese. I should probably keep my mouth shut here and not destroy her dream. Yeah, let's not explain to Pearl what dubbing is. Ah, yes, the robot-looking bear. What a lovely bear! Ah, this must be one of those fancy bear-shaped toy robots. It's a real robot? Yeah, it's a real one. Yes? How many horsepowers is it? How many horsies? Less than one. I'm going with less than one, Pearl. Horsies? Well, look, it's a bear, so, well, did someone put a bug in the phone? Well, the phone is the most common place for a listening device, I'd say. But let's take the receiver apart first before we get ahead of ourselves here. You know a lot about electronics, don't you, Mr. Nick? Yeah, I know tons, especially when it comes to taking them apart. It's my speciality. I'll leave the fixing part up to Gumshoe. So, is there a listening device in there? No? And I really thought it had to be in the phone too. See, he can take things apart, but he can't put them back together again. That's just the lamp. Yep, lamp check, listening device. No. Mirror? Ooh. In the drawers? No. In the guitar case? No. The stuff that's on the floor? No. This weird thing on the chair? Cell phone. Nope, no bugs in here. A cell phone? What? Don't tell me you don't know what a cell phone is. I'm sorry, I've never seen one before. I mean, they can't get signal up there in the mountain, Phoenix. Now that she mentions it, my cell phone couldn't get any reception while I was staying in Korean Village. And Pearls has never lived outside of that village, so... Well, I guess I can't say it's impossible to live without one. Ah, that was a cell phone. A very old cell phone. Not in the table. What about this bear? No? Well, the radio is going to be a source. The radio is on. I'm playing something. Oh, it's Kid's Question Corner. Professor, why is the Earth round? Yes, why is it, Mr. Nick? Gravity. Gravity is the answer, Pearl. Why don't you listen to the radio program a little more, Pearls? None of these bears, right? Picture... no. What? Alright, we got a lot of bears to scan? This is a refrigerator, right? That is a very large fridge for a hotel. That's like a regular sized fridge, not a mini fridge. I really don't think the listening device is in something like this. Because it's filled with nothing but healthy vegetable juices, right? Yeah. Sure. What does that have to do with listening devices? What's this? It sort of looks like a hot water pot, but it's a coffee maker, Pearl. Oh, well, it's kind of like a hot water pot, I guess. But instead of hot water, coffee comes out. Yeah, if you want hot water, you're going to have to look at the one next to it. Really? This pot can do that? Is there a pot that orange juice comes out of? I don't think there's anything like that, Pearls. Sorry. Oh, the water in this hot water pot has run out. I'll go get more water for it. Okay, sounds good. Looks like she's forgotten all about looking for the listening device. And the listening device is going to be in a bear, surely. Ooh. Ah, the head of the big bear. This is just a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I've ever seen. Hey, so did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean. No, not yet. But this bear's eyes. Let's see. Perfectly normal stuffed bear with some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you found the device to me, pal. Let's dig this big fella's eye out and see what we got. No, you can't! Such a violent act! Well, that's a camera. Or a microphone, or both. I guess it's both. Camera here and the microphone is probably underneath it. It's a miniature camera, and it looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer. Oh, what a emitter? The transmitter, pal. Oh, is this more of that high-tech stuff? So this tiny thing is a camera? Ah, red focusing laser. Yeah, it could be. Yep, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small high-grade video camera, mostly used in security systems. So it's a video camera. It runs on a battery, which comes with it in a set. But there's no videotape in this camera. This is only the camera part here, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside it is somewhere else. Like that room in the Unguard Mansion. With the satellite dish and all the tapes. Somewhere else? The footage is changed into radio waves and then it's sent to that recorder. So, it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it? Hey, you know, you're right. Spy camera added to the call record. Set to record the victim's room from 8 PM for 1 hour. It was running at the time of the murder. Yeah, that really does suggest to me the thing where I said, hey, I wonder if those videos are of all the murders he did. So, what is a transmitter? It's a device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal. It looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing. No, that's a timer, pal. You can set it to turn the camera on and record at a certain time with it. You can set it for a certain time? Yep, let's see. This looks like it was set to start at 8 PM and go for 1 hour. 8 PM. That was the time the award ceremony ended. There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I'd guess. Which is why, when we were in here just after 8 o'clock and received that call, there was interference. Mr. Detective, how long has this bed been here? Well, I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder. Then maybe this camera caught the murder on tape. What? And if you think about the angle the bear is at, it's bound to have a clear shot of the old crime, pal. Transmitter added to the court record. Changes the footage taken by the spy camera into radio waves and transmits the data. So, there was a camera in this bear's eye. And it was disguised as a present. I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. It's pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind. But who gave Mr. Corridor this present? I dunno, pal. But this means that someone out there has got a video of what happened here that night. Isn't there any way we can find out who that person is? It's impossible, pal. Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere. There's no real way to find out. there really no way to find out? Stuffed bear added to the court record. Oops, I forgot to read what the toy bear said. Let's just read what the toy bear said. The spy camera was set in its right eye, found in the victim's room. I got it! What? Hey, pal, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna go around to the electronic shops and see if I can find out who bought this. Good play. But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 PM. Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal. Spy camera and transmitter given to Detective Gumshoe. Oh yeah, baby! It's investigating time! I'm on fire, pal! My fingers are itching to go! Yeah! He's gone. Yeah. But Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's pushing himself so hard, all for Mystic Maya's sake. It's a mystery how you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right? You'll have to excuse me, I heard your conversation just now. Edgeworth! What are you doing here? A rescue team has been created and deployed. I can't say I'm optimistic, but we have to move forward one step at a time. I see. Thanks. Don't thank me yet. We still have to find her. So there was a spy camera hidden inside the stuffed animal, huh? You are one lucky man, right? Do you know this stuffed bear, little girl? I have no idea. Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. Really? There's only one brand I can think of that's very expensive and makes teddy bears, and I don't think they make ones that big. It's completely handmade, and only a small number of these are exported here. What? The camera and transmitter that scatterbrained detective took with him are dead ends. Things like those can be bought anywhere. However, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is. Can you really do that? Listen, Nick, can you really? Probably. Well, I guess so. It's 9 PM. I think I can still make it in time. I'll be taking this for now. I'm sure you have other things you have to do. Stuffed bear snatched up by Edgeworth. See you soon, right? Wait! I'm just imagining Edgeworth manhandling a bear as tall as he is. What? Why are you doing this? Because he wants to catch the killer. I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. But besides that, right, until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Who was the person that murdered Juan Corrida? The real killer. Do you really still think it was Adrian Andrews? To be honest, I don't know anymore. You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth. Juan Corrida's real killer. Miss Andrews' past. A kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal from Mr. Ongard. And this card, Shelley the Killer. Hiya. The only way I can save you now is to find all the answers to this case tonight. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. But as you said, all I can do now is find the truth. To be continued. And a very convenient timing for that to be continued. This feels like it's an appropriate place for me to end the stream today. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box. The streaming schedule for this channel is posted both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the posts tab of the channel. This was the last scheduled stream of this week, so there'll be a new schedule up later tonight. Will I be finishing off the Otome demo tomorrow? Uncertain. I've got a pretty busy day tomorrow, so I'm not actually sure if I'll be able to stream tomorrow or not. So the next scheduled stream is definitely going to be Wednesday, 7 PM. I do want to finish that demo off. The problem is I did want to finish it before their Kickstarter ended, but I think that's in like now. So yeah, I'm not sure, but there'll definitely be a stream on Wednesday, and that's going to be Charade Maniacs. So hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.